I'm Allie.
And I'm Dahlia.
And welcome to Navigate the Now season.
Season 2. What?
Season 2.
We're back. We're back. I know y'all missed us. I know I missed us. I'm not going to lie. I missed us.
I missed us too. Oh.
Hi, Allie.
Yeah. Hi, Dahlia. Welcome back. Long time no see. Welcome to season 2. This is just kind of a intro to our season 2. We have some guests that we've been planning, recording. We have a big one this week that we're going to talk about. And for our listeners who are interested in following us, we are at Navigate the Now on Instagram and at Navigate the Now on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube. What's the other one?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's one
I think
more.
that's about it.
Apple.
Oh,
It's on
Apple. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Apple, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And email us at navigatethenow@gmail.com.
But yeah, so we're back for season 2. Season 1 was earlier this year. Just Allie and I figuring things out, wanting to put our part out in this world to, I don't know, navigate this political climate and just everything that comes with it. And we had great guests. And this season, as Allie said, we have some excellent guests lined up as well. So looking forward to bringing their voices into the conversation and giving you all some more tools for the toolbox. Because I love talking about the tools.
Yes.
I love talking about that toolbox.
I would say we had some good guests, but we had some great topics too. I was thinking of all the different things that we kind of really sat down and talked about and digested ourselves. It was a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The conversations that we've had, I learned a lot. I feel like it was definitely helpful for myself. But this is an intro. It's going to be a shorter episode than just to kind of do a little what's been going on since we've been on summer break, highlighting some major things. Not everything, but obviously a lot's been going on.
But
holy shit! We're just wanting to. Yeah. Well, what you said? Holy shit!
I said holy shit! Yeah. We laugh when we can, but we know it does feel serious, and we're gonna get into some of that. But we are gonna talk about something very unserious. We're gonna talk about Bad Bunny actually, because we went to the residency in Puerto Rico, but. This past week, it was announced that he's going to play the Super Bowl, and because everything is political, even who gets the halftime show, that's a whole nother topic to delve into right now. Although I think people just like to stay mad about things. But the Bad Bunny effect, Dahlia, let's talk about it.
I mean, it was definitely, for me, one of the biggest highlights of my summer. And to be able to go there, to be on the beach, to go to the concert, like it was something that for me was well worth the money spent being there and then like sharing that time with you. And it was really actually emotional, like the concert itself. There's a lot of memes that are out there where it's like, I'm not Puerto Rican, but I feel so proud to be Puerto Rican. And I think that was kind of, at least for me, the vibe in the sense that, you know, I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be Latina. I'm just like what Bad Bunny was representing. And people were there from all different places, right? We saw there was a Brazilian flag, an Indian flag. Like people came up, showed up, and was proud to be their culture. It was just like that sense of pride. Regardless if you're Puerto Rican or not, if you're Latina, Latino, Latine, it was just a sense of we're showing up and being proud of our roots, of our ancestors, and
It was super cool. The girls next to us were from Peru, I remember too, and the guy behind us was Haitian. It just was another, I just think about that. Everybody was just from all over the place. And we met a Puerto Rican while we were eating dinner outside that lived in Ohio. It was, or the guy. No, the guy was from Ohio. Before. The girl that talked to us that was Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell, and then I just assumed they both were Puerto Rican, and then he said he was from Ohio, and I was like, what? So really everybody from everywhere, and it was a really good time. And then after we went to then we had these great highlights after we went to El Yunque. I was really tired. I was starting to crash at that time the next day, and we walked through the rainforest, and that was a great time. And
Mm-hmm.
then we went to our Airbnb and we met Nirsa, who was our host, and she was staying next door, and her husband Willie, and they were like
A
the most
gem.
amazing people ever.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
damn Airbnb commercial,
Oh,
that
yeah,
experience.
it was, yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, it's like we joke around because we say that it wasn't just in, not only did we like rent a home to like stay at or a house to stay at, but it was like a whole experience because our, well, let's say our Airbnb mom host came over and we just started chatting it
She was
up.
totally our mom.
She really was. She was like born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I think at the age of 7 or 8 moved to New York. So she had like a really heavy New York accent. I don't know. And then next day we just spent the day with her, went to the beach, and it just felt. I think that was definitely like the cherry on top of everything that we were feeling, just feeling home. Um, yeah. So it was
And
amazing.
we brought two dogs home to their new homes from the
Oh,
airport.
we did. What was it called
We
again?
flew with we
Angel.
each Angel flight. We each flew
Angel.
with a little brown Chihuahua. They were brother and
Hmm.
sister, maybe, or mom and son. She wasn't really sure. Willie and Loretta. We dropped them
Yeah,
off to their homes.
yeah, that was really
It
special.
was
Yeah, I fell in love with the dog in the 4 hours flight, and I didn't want to give him up, but I had to.
same,
Um,
same,
but we'll
same.
link it in the bio of the organization
Oh
that
yeah,
Allie connected
yeah.
with.
It's
If y'all are interested
cats and
in
small
going.
dogs. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just like to
And
sum it up real quick, they look for people who are coming to the island and then flying back into the mainland to the States. And
I think from what I understand, they're kind of like they're their own entity. They're not the rescue themselves. If somebody's like really wondering, it's like these rescues are connected with them, and they just probably have all these
Mhm.
different contacts. And then if so, you fill it out, and they probably send it out to everybody. If somebody can find you, they connect with you because that was kind of the process. So. It's not the actual organization that maybe you'll work with, but they help
Like a
connect you
third
to
party.
them. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So and it's great, and they pay for everything. You don't have to pay for the dog to come home or anything. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was
It
great.
was a good time. So we go from having that great experience, Bad Bunny being obviously a hot artist for a while. This year, he's really having a year, and he lands a gig in the United States.
The
Allie,
Super
tell
Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
I I also like the memes where like, oh, did y'all hear that there's a football game happening during the Bad Bunny concert?
Mm-hmm. On both sides of it too. Unnecessary.
Oh,
Yeah. So we were gonna get a little bit. Obviously, there was a bit of a reaction. I knew that people were gonna complain because, as I was telling Dahlia earlier, as a white person listening to Spanish music since like I don't know mid early 2000s, like 2005 on, people always complained if I played Spanish music. So it
hmm.
didn't matter what side they were on politically, and it's definitely become more popular for sure. But I knew, I was like, oh, somebody's gonna be mad that it's not about them. But I've seen really great breakdowns. Thank God for TikTok, um, of of just because I think him and Taylor Swift are like globally. I don't know. I think sometimes he wins. I don't know how all the numbers break down, but most played artist on Spotify, which is a pretty worldwide platform right now. But then I saw somebody even break down the U.S. numbers today, and he's pretty high up there, even just in the United States. So
Yeah. Hmm. Um, yeah, so obviously a lot of people were super excited about it, and then we did get then we got people who were crashing out. I don't know. I feel like I've been hearing crash out a lot lately. There has to be like a new term for the kids these
yeah,
days.
it's a very like now
Well, people
teachers know
started
what it
crashing
is,
out
but
over it, and
yeah,
they just couldn't believe that somebody who's Puerto Rican headlining. You know what was really
not
the funny thing is
American.
not American. As somebody who's not American, so that also kind of really highlighted how I don't know, kind of the disconnection, the lack of knowledge people have about
Yeah.
who is American. I think that also lends itself to a
Mm-hmm.
larger conversation of who is American and who is not, right?
Right.
Of
Right.
so what is American and what is not. And I think you can really, I almost like in my mind, it's tying to like how ICE is targeting people, right? They're targeting people who
Mm-hmm.
look a certain way when there is no particular way to look American. So this is kind of tying it back to the
Mm-hmm.
whole Euro. What is it? What was the term that you used earlier? Like
Eurocentric.
Eurocentric.
Eurocentric. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Eurocentrism.
Bad Bunny's having a moment. We're here for it. We love it. Y'all have 4 months to learn a little Espanol, so you understand what he's saying. I hope to God he speaks Spanish the whole entire time. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Um, so, you know, eh, like Ali said earlier, because everything's political, even the halftime show is political. Uh, Wanting to go in a little bit into like what's allowed to be mainstream and who's labeled controversial for just existing. And obviously, I don't think there's no doubt that Bad Bunny is mainstream, but
Mm-hmm.
the fact of him speaking a different language other than English, that part is what's making it controversial because it's like, we're in America, speak English. And it's like, well, he is an American. And honestly, Spanish
Yeah.
is basically, for me, Spanish is basically
Yeah.
the main language
They'd say speak
in
American.
many places.
We speak
Hmm?
American here. They'd
We
say
speak
we speak
American.
American. Uh, yeah, I think people just like to be mad. I think this goes back to this whole rage culture and rage bait culture. And I just think we love to be outraged about things. And I think that's, um, yeah, I, I won't get
Yeah.
into all that, but
All right.
I think people just like to be mad. I really do. I think people just like to be mad. And it's become so part of kind of how we operate around here. Oh, I'm enraged about this thing, or it's, I don't know. And it's also, it's good content, for these. You see Tommy Lahren, you see all these different people talking about it. It's good clickbait content, it's good things to talk about. So they know it's going to get people riled up. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping on it. The man has the numbers. He's got the proof. He's got the
Right.
receipts.
He had the
He's
receipts. He can
he's a
back it up.
bad bunny. He is a
Oh, yeah,
badass
he
bunny.
is.
So,
Conejo malo.
so I already
One,
know,
you already
Acho
Bill Public.
Pérez es otra cosa. If anybody doesn't know, that's like a tagline in a song. Acho Pérez otra cosa. It's like,
Oh,
I
Ali.
guess Acho is like short for muchacho. It's like, oh, Puerto Rico is something else, but I find myself very not Puerto Rican. Nothing in me whatsoever. I'm just pure white girl, saying that to myself every time a Bad Bunny song
But
comes on.
but you're feeling proud to be Puerto Rican.
It's Rican is what I said earlier. It's the
Rican.
essence of feeling Puerto Rican when you're listening to a Bad Bunny song. That's what I'm gonna call that, Rican.
So funny.
All right, Dahlia.
But yeah,
So
so
what else is going
all that,
on?
yeah, it's, all that discussion over a halftime show, right? But these same battles play out in politics too. Something else that along the many things, something else that happened during our time away is this Charlie Kirk's assassination. And then, let's not forget that happened September 10th. But back in, what was it? June 14th, the day that we did Humanity Fest when Allie was in New York City, the Minnesota State Rep, Melissa Hortman, and her husband, Mark, and their dog were also assassinated. And it's really crazy how the media dynamics were really different, like how it was covered. And super freaking sad because, like, honestly, Melissa Hortman, I think it was probably a day or two highlights, and that was it, right? I didn't really see the type of outcry as the Charlie Kirk situation. To
Yeah.
be clear, I don't think anybody should be assassinated, period. But the main thing that I want to highlight here is, once again, viewing how the media depicts things and then who is shown as a hero. I mean, and let's be honest, let's be real. Charlie Kirk, what he was saying, the things that he would say, very divisive, very racist.
My most, I mean, there's a few things that I really harp on, but one was of, essentially he stated that Black women were at a lower cognitive function and some implication.
I mean, it's just
and
the shit he said.
just like,
Horrific.
yeah. I think that's a good point. Of we're not here to dissect what happened, but it is a bit of analyzing in the media the response in this. I remember I say this because I remember with the Melissa Hortman thing, it was very like, I kept seeing stuff like, well, we don't know. Sounds like it was just a personal thing. We were very quick to kind of brush it aside as this personal issue and not really explore that it could even be something beyond that, which would be a much higher implication. It would be something much more, it's like, if it's personal, then it doesn't really speak to the culture. And then when Trump, in the midst of everything, in the aftermath with Charlie Kirk, was asked about Melissa Hortman, he said, who? And I don't know if that speaks to what we're talking about, or if it speaks to his memory, which I think is a whole nother issue. But I felt same thing. I felt like we wanted to just move past it. We didn't want to talk about it. We didn't want anybody to, we didn't want to harp on it. It happened. It's not nobody wanted to call it a political assassination. So anyways, yeah.
Well, you said nobody wanted to call it like it was politically driven. I think it was like between two, like what you were saying of, this was just one person being erratic and a personal vendetta against this person. And then there was also the other side of it of like, well, this was a crazy MAGA person that is going after like Democrats type of thing. And although they had like both storylines were playing at the same time, it did not show like that for Charlie. It was from the beginning, from the get-go, before they even knew who assassinated him. It was already, these crazy liberals are out here and we're out ready for war. And, Kirk's body was flown in whatever the presidential, like the president himself, like sent for the body or whatnot, and the type of memorial that they had for him. It was pretty insane. And I really do think that it is, this is serious, the way how things are really playing out and how fast things are playing out. And the media does have a big role in it, because the media, social media, will really tailor stories in ways to obviously fit whatever right-wing or even left-wing propaganda is being spewed.
Well, even the assassinator of Kirk, and that situation's weird, but the kid, he's a kid accused of doing it. The grandma came out and was like, she didn't seem offended that he was called a murderer, but she was like, we are not liberal. It was just crazy. I was like, his grandma, the kid's grandma, made
the grandma, we're not liberal.
Yeah, my son might be a murderer, but we are not liberal.
But we're not liberal. Let everybody know.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I tried to kind of read into that and learn about this whole online scene, and I read and I sent you videos and breakdowns and analysis of this whole Graper scene and the Nick Fuentes situation, and how they to them Charlie Kirk wasn't right enough, which seems to a lot of people crazy, I'm sure, but sometimes, and I don't know what's become of the entire thing, and I don't know. I think it's like when you platform hate, it's like it feeds off of. It's never enough. It's never enough,
Right.
The opposite of love is hate, and love is that things are always enough, and hate, there's never enough. And so people it's always going to be a game of one-upping. So I just don't know how to say that. But yeah.
I mean, I thought that was really nicely said, but
Well, I don't know if it's been established that that's what his scene was.
yeah, I mean, I think here, like the main thing of highlighting is how the media really depicted both of
Yes,
them, and
yes.
really how crazy it is for somebody who can be so divisive and hateful, can be looked at as a hero. And now Oklahoma, they're instituting USA Turning Point chapters in all the high schools. So
What?
yeah.
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 Well, some people like now, like Candace Owens, some of these talking heads are coming out and they think that like somebody turned on him and that his own people had him assassinated. So that's why I'm like, I can't even follow this anymore. This has gotten really crazy. Um,
And
but yeah, I agree. I agree. It was like, it felt like a forced mourning. Like, it's okay. I understand you don't want people to, but you can't force people to mourn people. I think that that's insanity. And
what do you mean a forced mourning between who?
forced mourning of Charlie Kirk. I think that it felt like a forced, you know, we want people to revere this person. And I get the, like, if you don't have anything nice, then don't say anything at all, maybe. But it started to feel like you will bow down to this situation. That's with the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Because he didn't even really say anything.
About how people then came out and spoke, right? Spoke, even the things that they said weren't even that obnoxious, but Jimmy Kimmel being canceled for a
Yeah.
period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. The people complaining about cancel culture really came out with the cancel culture. And I, even in my own life, I've seen it play out, not me, but, or anybody directly around, like in my family, but, somebody I know's place of work, and it's in the throes of it right now. And it's crazy. So yeah, which is a great segue, Dahlia, into systems of power. We wanted to talk about, you went to an event with some
Yeah.
young, new, fresh energy, people hitting the political cycle. And speaking of, their theme was mafia governance.
Well, so there's two events that I went to. The first event
Okay.
was earlier last month, and it was specifically talking about a lot of young folks who are coming out here and doing their political thing online, YouTube, podcast world, Instagram, all the things, TikTok, and how it's like really the leading voice during this time, which that was really like, it made me feel we're in the right space doing the right thing for us at this moment and for our community, our listeners. And then I went to an event last week, I want to say. And this particular event was the three panelists. All of them are highly acclaimed journalists, authors: Masha Gessen, Nicole Hannah Jones, and Paula Ramos. Shout out to Paula Ramos. She is somebody who I learned about last year, and really started with her book, Defectors. Really helped me to dig deep a little bit more and look at politics in a different way than I was. That's for another time. But in this event, at the speaking event, it was Masha Gessen who came out and defined our government as a mafia governance. Like, this is probably one of the most accurate ways to talk about what we're going through right now, because it's very much loyalty based, it's intimidation, and there's
Yeah.
and just like straight up saying what they're gonna do, right? The Project 2025, that was straight up
Yes.
an outline of what's happening and what was gonna happen, and
Yeah.
what would happen and what is happening. So I thought that was, for me, did speak to me, and I believe like that is, you know, obviously like authoritarianism, like that's
Yeah.
what we're experiencing in this country, but mafia governance, I feel like definitely hits different
Well,
and depicts
I
what we're going through.
I always think of, I have a friend and her mother grew up around the Trump family in Manhattan way back in the day. And her words were, they're a bunch of thugs. Which is ironic because he loves to call people thugs. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely feel like every person that I talked to that was planning on voting for Trump, or that I just maybe saw discussing it on social media or just something, every person was like, Project 2025 is not a thing. And I do really want to know now, like, okay, so now what do you have to say? Because everybody was adamant that that wasn't happening. And that our good friend Stephen Miller wasn't going to do all the things that he wanted to do. And then we've got the government shutdown.
And then the government shutdown. That happened, what was it, 4 days ago? For context, we are recording today, Sunday, September, oh my Lord, October 5th. And the government shut down. Let me see. I'm going to do a quick little Google search. October 1st. On October 1st, government shut down at 12:01.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. I think October 1st was October 1st was a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another interesting way of how this is playing out and what the Republicans are saying. The Republicans love to really use illegal immigrants as a scapegoat, and the LGBTQ community, specifically the trans community, using these groups who are not a threat to our society.
No.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? The enemy within?
I was going to say, I just saw something. It was like, fascism requires an enemy within. And I'm like, oh my God. Yes.
Oh, well.
You got to create the enemy within your own people. And that they have done. For sure.
So if you've been listening to any news outlet, what the Republicans are saying is that this shutdown is happening because the Democrats want to provide undocumented people with health insurance. So I do want to acknowledge that there's around 750,000 federal workers that are furloughed or working without pay that are impacting, like this shutdown is impacting people immediately on their day to day, right? For sure. And what I do want to say, the takeaway is that the Democrats, the reason why there is a shutdown is because they're refusing to sign a budget bill that will cause many Americans to lose a ton of healthcare. So it's not asking like this, they're not asking to add more, it's just to keep what we have. And so what does that mean to keep what we have? Is to keep the Affordable Care Act subsidies that were going to expire in 2025. And just to put some numbers out there, currently 22.4 million Americans receive subsidies through the Affordable Care Act, through premium like tax credits. If the current budget stays as is, it will leave approximately 4.2 million Americans without any type of healthcare coverage. Some people say with this shutdown, it's slowing down like what Trump wants to push forward, and to find these cuts here in order to give his billionaire friends money, right? Like we're making more money, people, off of the backs of the working class, as per usual.
You too can be a billionaire if you let them cut everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So,
it's crazy stuff.
There's a shutdown.
I love we have a little outline that we use here, and Dahlia's got us here. That's the playbook. Keep folks tired, divided, and too distracted to demand better.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
But we're not here to be divided. We're not here to be distracted, and we are demanding better. Okay?
We are root rising and reflecting.
Ain't that the truth? Root rise and reflect.
It's Rickin'. It's Rickin'.
And then we got the ICE raids.
Yeah.
Lord baby Jesus. What can I say? I have been leading some just like know your rights, basic know your rights, understanding what your rights are. And to be honest with you, it's like you take your rights for granted until somebody fucks with them. I want to be clear about something. I want to be clear about when people talk about know your rights, because I know, oh my God, who is the border czar? Hoffman.
Yeah, I can see his face.
Yeah, hold on.
Recently, even Bill Maher said, like, aren't you, Tom Homan asked him,
Tom
like, aren't you
Homan.
taking this a little far? And I wish you could see his face. He's like, don't you think that this is getting really out of control? Like, really, and he brought up these specific instances, and he just sat and smiled the whole time.
Yeah, Tom Homan, he's been like on news stations really going after NGOs who are, he's saying, interfering, like telling all these illegal aliens what their rights are, but they don't have any rights, and that's so wrong. And what's scary about that is he's literally saying that what our rights are, that they're not our rights, but they are our rights. So we keep talking about rights, 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 rights. The Constitution, there's constitutional rights that are for everybody that are on U.S. soil, right? So that's if you are a U.S. citizen or if you're not. And one of the rights, there is the freedom of speech, and there's also freedom to not say anything, right? Have the right to remain silent, and have the right to not be illegally seized or illegally searched. But essentially, what I'm trying to say here is that ICE is definitely going to be ramping up because there's a lot of money in the budget and that has been put towards it, and they're going to want to make their numbers. I know that a lot of people will say that Obama was like the main president to have deported the most immigrants. The difference between Obama deportation and what we're seeing now is that, yeah, he did deport a lot of people that were coming and crossing the border. So when you have a lot of folks that are crossing the border that are new and deporting them, like, you're going to have high numbers because you had high numbers trying to get in. With Trump, now the border crossing is at an all-time low. So if you're going to talk about you want to reach so many numbers, that means you're detaining and deporting people like Maria Isidro, my niece's grandmother, who's been here for 20 plus years and has no criminal background, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was just a few days ago that there was a ICE raid in Chicago in a whole complex. It was like some like war raid shit that happened.
Middle of the night, it's reported that everybody was taken out and zip tied and questions asked later. It's reported that half naked children were pulled out. It's reported that even Black Americans were a part of this as well. They just were going after anybody, and then questions were asked later, which is horrendous.
Yeah, makes us
And the question I have to go back right now, I do not care what anyone tells me about, other people, other presidents in the past deporting people, because right now what we're seeing is there's no due process being enacted. These people are getting shipped to countries with no idea what's going on. These people are getting sent to El Salvador. They're talking about sending, where are they talking about sending, the guy from Colombia? You and I were talking about this, Dahlia. They're talking about sending him to somewhere in Africa. They're like sending these people to the middle of nowhere where they have no idea what's going on and they have no access to anything, and rounding people up in the streets. It's crazy. My point I was making was like, maybe past presidents have high numbers, but there was due process being enacted. We weren't shipping them to like prisons in other countries where they're like they're locked up there and they can't even get out, and they're being tortured potentially. Or like they wanted to send, is it Mahmoud Khalil? Is that what was his name? The guy from Colombia. They wanted to send him to Africa.
Mahmoud Khalil
he was Syrian. Yeah.
the guy from Colombia. Okay, I thought you were talking about Colombia, the country.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, Columbia University. Judge finds that the Trump administration violated constitutional rights is the first headline I get. Like, no shit. So, yeah, anybody who says anything you don't like right now can be deported. That's the thing. People might say like, well, that's okay, but yeah, well, they're coming for you next. So it's not okay. It can't be free speech, but only for me or because I'm a citizen. So it's just crazy. But also, yeah, going into an apartment and pulling everybody out and zip tying and pulling out half naked children is disgusting.
It's a violation of our rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? I'm looking up the constitutional rights. It's like protection from unreasonable searches and seizures, Fourth Amendment, rights in criminal cases, Fifth Amendment, a right to a fair trial, the Sixth Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
um, a protection from cruel and unusual punishment, Eighth Amendment. Like, I don't know. I feel like we can
Wow.
go through all these constitutional rights that once again are for those who are U.S. citizens and not, but are on U.S. soil. They're just being
Mm-hmm.
violated left and right and under the guise of keeping the United States safe.
Well, this is what Katie talked about, though, right? Because they're using this weird loophole. I think so much is being exploited. Remember, it's like it's not a criminal case, it's civil, so they actually don't have the
Hmm.
same rights. And so it actually means that they can behave in even more nefarious, shitty ways, which is crazy
Hmm.
for something considered technically lesser of a crime or not a crime. I use the wrong word, but maybe like offense.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so I just, yeah, I have my overall thought is that in the long run, we're just doing really irreversible damage and
Hmm.
harm
Hmm.
to our place in this world, in this life. Um, and it's gonna cause a lot of things that we just don't even understand because nobody wants,
Hmm.
nobody wants to deal with us right now. And we look insane and we are insane and we look hateful and horrible. And I think people don't really understand the how long those repercussions are going to we're just acting it out on the world stage on social media, like
Hmm.
almost like cruelty is the point. And aside from all this, I think people don't understand how harmful this
Uh,
is
yeah,
beyond today.
and this makes me think about the our first guest, Monica Espitia. She's a journalist, and she mentioned that history is being made right now, like every day with
Mhm.
everything that's
Mhm.
happening. And I keep thinking, and the question is like, what are you doing in this time? Like
Mhm.
when you look back a year from now, a few years from now, I hope you can look back during this time and say that you were able to do something and do your part,
Mhm.
to make things better, to make your community a little bit safer, a little bit more, I don't know, find some unity. But we said this was going to be a short
Yeah.
episode, but obviously it's not that
Yeah.
short of an episode. But
Yeah, we
anyways, this
well
is just a little snippet of season two, what's to come. I do want to point out that season two is going to be split up in two parts, October, November. We're going to be dropping 5 episodes. Then we're going to take a winter break and then come back January, February. Allie, did you want to share where you're going?
well, I guess I haven't booked my flight yet, right? That was my joke earlier.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I've been in the works. I've been planning this since spring. I will be heading to Peru, to the Amazon, hopefully,
Ooh.
to a city, yeah, called Iquitos. One of my like side passions is permaculture, and there is a permaculture institute there, and I'm gonna go stay at this permaculture institute and kind of for multiple purposes. I love going and just getting a chance to like really practice my Spanish, not just like a little. I feel like when you work somewhere and you like have to do tasks and daily things in a language, it's different than just like
Yeah,
traveling around and
immersion,
ordering things.
immersion. Hmm.
Yeah, so I was looking for that experience just because I'm always trying to brush up on my language. But then also like learning indigenous ways of essentially working with the land,
Hmm.
understanding and working with nature and how it benefits, or working with it in a way that is beneficial for you and nature, which is the heart of permaculture, which is something where an episode we hope is coming up, to
Hmm.
essentially permaculture is working with nature. So I'm really excited to go there and all the different people to meet. So yeah, I'll be there for 1 month.
That's cool. I love
Stuff.
it. Can't wait to hear all about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And we have some exciting guests coming up. And this week we have a big one. We have Beth Macy, who is a best-selling author. She's written multiple books. We won't get too into it, but if you've seen, it was a popular show, Dope Sick, adapted from her book. And she is coming out with a memoir that discusses her life growing up here in rural Ohio, where I'm from as well. So I connected with this topic a lot. I got to see her speak today, and I was in tears a lot. But then the heart of her book really is the fracturing of the United States politics and how essentially like at least 1 in 5 Americans are, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Just thinking about it makes me feel emotional.
Estranged.
Yes, estranged from their family because of politics, and how people actually feel like division is a bigger issue right now over finances or other major issues, that the division is just so bad. And so it's a really meaningful topic, and shout out to our friend Vicky Forrest, Ben's mom, who helped us link up with Beth Macy. So that's coming up. And we've got some other ones. We've got some other exciting ones. We've got Jen, and we've got some other people for you. So it should be good.
Yes. Well, we're going to wrap up now. Thank you all for listening. If you made it all the way to the end.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe. And remember,
And navigate the now.
Navigate the now
Rise.
and root, rise, and reflect.
Reflect.
All right.
Hacho pere otra cosa.
We'll end it right there. Until next time.